Welcome to Devaia. In this video we will give you an insight of what Devaia does. The approval process is as follows. Research and development develops a trade or event. Marketing and legal approve the trade or event. Financial control makes a budget. The last step of the approval process is the approval of general management. The trade process is as follows. After the trade is approved, sales creates the master data and runs the MRP. Operation arranges for a vendor. Purchasing processes the goods and receives them. Sales stores the goods and sends an invoice. Last but not least, financial control audits the trade. The event process is as follows. After the event is approved, R&D makes a project. Event planning releases the project. In the project builder, marketing arranges the promotion. Legal takes care of the license and operation does the sourcing. Furthermore, the marketing department carries out the tickets and the associated price. Sales make contracts, sales orders and invoices, while purchasing ensures goods receipts and creating a purchase order. Thereafter, event planning ensures the technical completion and finally financial control arranges the final steps. The first department is the Human Capital Management department. They are more or less like Switzerland, neutral but connected to every department. HCM's main tasks are the salary run, hire and fire, travel costs, absences and job appraisals. Just like HCM, Corporate Services is a department on its own. They create a sustainable environment within Devaia. The main tasks for the department Corporate Services are the user maintenance of the departments, updating the websites, documentation of handed-in assignments. R&D is the first step in the approval process and in the event process. The department is dependent on the result of the approval process to be able to create an event. The R&D department has to come up with trade and event ideas to put into the approval process. The legal, marketing and financial control department should approve the trades and events. Then general management gives the final green light. Once a trade or event has been approved, the trade passes on to sales and the event information comes back to R&D. The R&D department creates the event in SAP using the info gathered during the approval process. When the event is then created in SAP, the R&D department is done. The only thing left is to notify the event planning and then the process can continue. The event planning department sets the aim to control the events during the planned weeks. It creates timetables for department which they have to follow. The main tasks for the event planning are the creation and release of events in the digital environment. The event planning comes in place in two places of the process. After the R&D department has announced a new product, they need to plan the event. However, it is of high importance this happens very fast, since the marketing, legal and operations department are waiting for your results. Then, at the end of the chain, event planning comes into action again. They will receive data from sales and purchasing that the event is all approved and event planning needs to release the event. When all of that is done, they will have to communicate with financial control so they can finalize the event. The department marketing is responsible for the event process and approval of trades and events. In the event process, marketing depends on the event planning department. Marketing will then have to communicate with legal and operations. When all three are finished, they will contact the purchasing department. Daily tasks for events are creating tickets and assigning prices, making a promotion plan, creating a purchase requisition for promotion material and checking the goods receipt and invoices. In the approval process, marketing depends on R&D department. Marketing will then have to communicate with legal and operations. After that, they will contact general management. Daily tasks for trades are approval of trades, creating of purchase requisitions for promotion material, and checking goods received and invoicing them. The legal department is present in the approval process and in the event process. The department has to approve or decline events and trades, keeping an eye on any legal aspects. When everything is fine, the department approves them and otherwise things are declined. The role of legal in the event process is to buy a license or permit if needed. The information is then filled in and purchase can continue with it. The legal department should also keep in touch with other departments to advise them on legal issues. The first endpoint is in the approval process, where the legal department should share its advice with the general managers. The company is also dependent on the legal department because the approval is needed to start either the trade or event process. Also, in the event process, it is important to make sure that the tasks are completed as quickly as possible to keep the process going. The sales department has two starting points, one in the event process and one in the trade process. The department is at the beginning of the trade process, so after the approval process for the trade is done, sales can create the article. In the event process, sales is after the marketing department. The tasks of the sales department are to sell the tickets of the events and to sell the trade products. In the trade process, the department has to create the master data for each trade and store the products. How to do so can be found in the process manual, and for the event process, the department can start working on it as soon as event planning releases the event. After finishing the steps in the event process, the event planning department can continue with its work. As for the trade process, the sales order number will be given to the operations department, and at the second step, the department sends the invoice. Then the financial control department can finish the process afterwards. The department operations is responsible for planning, coordinating and customizing the event. They source and manage the materials for events and trades. Operations is dependent on several departments. It starts with R&D, they have to make the events or trades and provide the correct information. Also, they must wait for the financial control to approve the budget and for the sales department to make a purchase order. After those steps, the sales department can start to make an information record, also known as price agreement. Then a vendor must be attached, corporate services must enter a valid date for the event to happen. Afterwards, make sure to communicate with the purchasing department, as they are waiting for your results. The purchasing department is responsible for purchasing materials for trades and events. In the event process, purchase is dependent on the departments, marketing, legal and operations. When they are done, purchasing can do its job. The purchase department is connected to event planning. The tasks for the event planning process are: purchasing acquires the network number, creates the purchase order for the event, and the goods receipt will be created. This information will be passed on to the financial department and event planning. In the trade process, purchase is dependent on operations department. After that, the purchase department can do its job and pass it on to sales. The tasks for trade planning process are: purchasing receives a purchase requisition, creates the order and will create a goods receipt. The invoice order has to be sent to financial department and sales. The daily tasks are delivering and receiving goods and materials, checking with the purchasing policy for purchases, budget approvals and paying within the given time frame. Financial control oversees the bookkeeping and financial reporting in the company. They can be seen as a department which has to control and check if the financial targets are met. The Financial Control Department works closely alongside all departments to control their cost center planning, but mostly with R&D, financial administration and general management. R&D provides the events and trades, which the legal, marketing and financial control departments have to approve, and when it's done, the process of the event of trade will move on to the following departments. Financial administration is an important source for the supply of data needed. For the general management, this department can be seen as a staff department. This department has to overview the cost center planning of the other departments. If needed, changes are made. The events and trades are controlled every week. Furthermore, a budget has to be prepared for each event and trade. This is also necessary for each project carried out. The department opens each period every month, and at the end of the period, financial control closes it. After this, the department carries out a risk analysis and the break-even evaluation. The department has a cost center and they keep track of the budgets of each department and if they are overspending. And they keep eyes on their return on investment with this. Financial Control Department is the last branch in the trade process. This department processes payments in a timely manner. The financial administration is dependent on departments such as human capital management for salaries, financial control, sales and marketing. The department also works closely with the bank. Every week, a small meeting is held to discuss the weekly tasks, and feedback is asked from the employees by the manager. After that, all employees start working on their assigned tasks. The main tasks within this department are salaries, insurances, VAT administration and income tax. Furthermore, if debtors haven't paid before the end of the month, the sales department will be immediately informed. When salaries or other outstanding payments are paid and the balance is equal to the company's account, financial administration has done their job well. With all the simultaneous operations executed by the 12 departments in Devaia comes the need for a common communication tool. Devaia has chosen Vlog because of its simple mechanism which allows multiple chat rooms for sharing information such as photos, documents and links. The departments can contact each other one-on-one but can also choose to make group chats with several departments. All members of the department can log in on the same time, making it easy to keep everyone up to date. The departments use the platform to notify others of the flowchart process status for event and trades. Therefore, language must be objective, simple and formal as we are working in a business environment. The General Management Department is making sure that all departments work correctly, and if not, HCM is asked to put employees in the right position. General Management works alongside every other department in the company. Therefore, they are an important link in the working process of Devaia. Their main task is to solve problems involving employees and processes, and keeping track of weekly tasks performed. Next, they make sure everyone knows what to do. Communication is the most important part of the General Management Department. Furthermore, they lead weekly meetings to keep every department informed. Lastly, the general management has to make sure that everything is done correctly and that everything is clear enough for other departments. They have to make the end decision in the approval process. Thank you for watching, and if you have any more questions, take a look at the FAQ on the Devaia website.